It's very confusing. I think, forget the most important topic, which is where's the truth in the discussion for human health and human well-being and longevity and joy and freedom from medication and need for medical procedures, which is really the real issue. As close as we can get to knowing the answer to that is the best service we're going to be doing to ourselves, our family, and the public. It is a ugly situation that's very polarized. Yet there is middle ground, and I mean, I don't want to, begin at the ending, but the thing I'll acknowledge, if you go back to Lauren Cordain and the Paleo Diet book, which frankly, if most plant-based people read it, they'd say I agree with 90% of this book, and is the shunning of hyper-processed fast food, the thing that's decimating the health of the Western world. Both camps will agree are exited. Although I'll say, of course, there are junk food vegans that have confused both the mission and the argument we have that this is a very healthy lifestyle. And the other side has confused it by reintroducing dairy and bringing butter back, and now, even cheese, when originally that was never a part of the low-carb, high-fat, and certainly paleo-oriented diet.
Yeah, paleo eschewed dairy altogether.
They eschewed dairy, but now, depending on, what version of that, all of a sudden goat cheese is back and goat milk is back, and certainly butter is back in various versions. So, the common ground, I had the opportunity about a few months ago to go over to Googleplex in Mountain View, and it was arranged via Kip Anderson, and there was a conversation in front of 100 of the Google young people, but beamed all over Google worldwide. And the conversation they set up for us was, these are real people, real health issues, real health concerns, real goals. Don't just have a fight and leave them confused, because what does the public do when they're confused? They do whatever the heck they want, and that's the point I wanted to make. We are left with this polarized discussion that leads most people, and very intelligent people, and people even in this sector of the health world and the food world and the medical world, to say, you guys are so disparate, moderation and everything, I'll do whatever I want. And that's unfortunately not serving us well. So I'd rather highlight, the common ground, which is none of us are into excess sugar. We can define none or low, but none of us are into excess sugar. None of us are into fast food. I don't know that anybody on their side or our side is talking about eating fried food with any regularity. They're not big into bacon, and I don't think they'd advocate hot dogs and salami and bologna, and obviously that's not even on our menu, which is all in advance. And then a lot of leafy greens. I would not stop at leafy greens. I'd go on to lots of fruits and lots of root vegetables and starchy vegetables. But maybe the first step is for all united parties to say, school kids, hospital patients, airports, vending, people in the workplace, whether they're of low socioeconomic, high socioeconomic, we need to get this junk out, which is an impossible job when you got Wendy's and KFC and McDonald's and these gigantic multi-billion-dollar conglomerates that I think it'll take 10 years and they'll be doing a better job, not a perfect job. Anyways, there is a lot of commonality. Yet you're absolutely right. I wake up every morning after a few minutes of gratitude and spend a few minutes perusing the internet, what's new overnight, and I kind of have my sequence to go through, and it's either a hot new article on ketogenic or it's a hot new article usually about another vegan restaurant opening in London or somewhere, but they're very separate, and there isn't much discussion. This Google talk with Dave Asprey of the Bulletproof Nutrition Group and Kip Anderson and myself was one of the rare times. You're not going to see you talking at Paleo FX or me being invited to go into the Lion's Den. So I look forward to that happening. I think without doubt we have science on our side, and we can, that's always my touchstone. Recognizing it's very hard to parse out. There's deficiencies. We don't have large randomized studies in many of these topics. Do we know enough to talk about what is the optimal diet for the human species? And we do, and it's much more weighted towards our choice of diet. Even if you just talk nutrition, take away the environment, take away animal rights, just talk nutrition, we are on the right path. And I'm emboldened by that, by some recent scientists who've come out kind of independently with no axe to grind, that the diet you feed your family, Rich, the diet I feed my family, and in my restaurant in Detroit, the public will be able to identify that this is where they need to move towards, even though all this confusion exists.
Well,